Hey people, it's Niall Stokey. Now, this is another science video that I like to cover. So here it is from The Guardian. Meatball from long extinct mammoth created by food firm. Exclusive. Australian company resurrects flesh of lost species to demonstrate potential of meat grown from cells. A mammoth meatball has been created by a cultivated meat company resurrecting the flesh of the long extinct animals. The project aims to demonstrate the potential of meat grown from cells without the slaughter of animals and to highlight the link between large-scale livestock production and destruction of wildlife and the climate crisis. The mammoth meatball was produced by Wow, an Australian company, which is taking a different approach to cultured meat. There are scores of companies working on replacements for conventional meat such as chicken, pork, and beef. But Wow is aiming to mix and match cells from unconventional species to create new kinds of meat. The company has already investigated the potential of more than 50 species, including alpaca, buffalo, crocodile, kangaroo, peacocks, and different types of fish. The first cultivated meat to be sold to diners will be Japanese quail, which the company expects will be in restaurants in Singapore this year. We have a behavior change problem when it comes to meat consumption, said George Peppu, CEO of WOW. The goal is to transition a few billion meat eaters away from eating conventional animal protein to eating things that can be produced in electrified systems. And believe the best way to do that is to invent meat. We look for cells that are easy to grow, really tasty and nutritious, and then mix and match those cells to create really tasty meat. Tim Noakesmith, who co-founded VOW with Peppu, we chose the woolly mammoth because it's a symbol of diversity loss and a symbol of climate change. This creature is thought to have been driven to extinction by hunting by humans and the warming of the world after the last ice age. The initial idea was the Bas Korsten at creative agency Wunderman Thompson. Our aim is to start a conversation of how we eat, what the future alternatives can look and taste like. Cultured meat is meat, but not as we know it. Plant-based alternatives to meat are now common, but cultured meat replicates the taste of conventional meat. Cultivated meat, chicken from good meat, is currently only sold to consumers in Singapore, but two companies have now passed an approval process in the US. In 2018, another company used DNA from an extinct animal to create gummy bears made from gelatine from a mastodon, another elephant-like animal. VOW worked with Professor Ernst Wolvertang at the Australian Institute for Bioengineering at the University of Queensland to create the mammoth muscle protein. His team took the DNA sequence for mammoth myoglobin, a key muscle protein in giving meat its flavor, and filled in the few gaps using elephant DNA. The sequence was placed in myoblast stem cells from a sheep, which replicated to grow to the 20 billion cells subsequently used by the company to grow to the mammoth meat. It was ridiculously easy and fast, said Wolvertang. We did this in a couple of weeks. Initially, the idea was to produce dodo meat, he said, but the DNA sequences needed do not exist. No one has yet tasted the mammoth meatball. We haven't seen this protein for thousands of years, said Wolvertang, so we have no idea how our immune system would react when we eat it. But if we did it again, we could certainly do it in a way that would make it more palatable to regulatory bodies. Wolvertang said he could understand people initially being wary of such meat. It's a little bit strange and new. It's always like that at first. But from an environmental and ethical point of view, I personally think cultivating meat makes a lot of sense. The large-scale production of meat, particularly beef, causes huge damage to the environment, with many studies saying there must be a big reduction in meat eating in rich nations in order to end the climate crisis. Well, to be honest, most people eat meat excessively anyway. Most people are not supposed to eat meat having a serving every single day. Cultivated meat uses much less land and water than livestock and produces no methane emissions. VOW said the energy it uses is all from renewable sources and that fetal bovine serum, a growth medium produced from cattle fetuses, is not used in any of its commercial products. The company has raised 46 million pounds in investment, $56 million, £46 million in investment today. Wolvertang thinks there will be increasing crossover between the technologies used in medical and human stem cell research and the production of cultured meats. For example, cells can be programmed to develop in response to their immediate environment, meaning cuts of meat containing muscle, fat, and connective tissue could be grown. Siren Kell at the Good Food Institute Europe said, I hope this fascinating project will open up new conversations about cultivated meat's extraordinary potential to produce more sustainable food. As the most common sources of meat are farm animals such as cattle, pigs, and poultry, most of the sustainable protein sector is focused on realistically replicating meat from these species. By cultivating beef, pork, chicken, and seafood, we can have the most impact in terms of reducing emissions from conventional animal agriculture. The mammoth meatball will be unveiled on Tuesday evening at Nemo, a scientist museum in the Netherlands. I hope you enjoyed that. Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. I'm going to leave this article in the description, and I'm going to look for some more to put in to give a more diverse reading. Peace.